Hello, welcome back. Hope everybody had a great weekend. Today we're going to be talking about the wonderful people from Davos, the World Economic Forum. I think they did a little bit. You know what? I don't even know if they talked about the economy. We'll get into that in a little bit. We want to review immigration. There's been some good news about immigration, and there's of course the same old from the left that we are not going to follow what is being told. Have some information on that. We'll be discussing some COVID information that was released by our CIA director, John Ratcliffe, our new CIA director. So we'll have that. Plus, at the end of the show, folks, it's our top 5 movie quotes. And damn, was that hard.
It was really hard.
But we will have that and so much more, folks, on live from the Patriots Prayer Network. It is 2 guys, 1 coup.
Lost in the crowd, truth hides deep, bury in the noise. Left hand deals lies, can't stifle the choice. Back rage, flames in the night, no more chains, break free from the fright. Eyes clear now, vision in the dark. We stand up, never bow to the mark. We are the storm, we are the fight. 2 guys, 1 coup, bringing light. No more lies, no more games. Stand tall in truth, break the chains. They spit and scream, push buttons in the dark. Yet we rise, never crumble in the park. Paint our faces with colors bright. March ahead in the dead of night. Shattered dreams won't silence us now. Left and right mixed poison in the vow. But we see through, we feel the beat.
That handsome guy on your right side of the screen is Rich. Everybody
Good morning,
knows Rich.
everyone. Good morning. Hey, before we even get started, Jim, happy birthday. I told you.
I wasn't. Yeah. Anyway, well, thank you, Rich. I appreciate it. Yes, I am.
What are you? 37?
39 today.
39. Okay, I was close.
39. Yeah, we're heading there.
Yeah.
But I do want to wish my niece, freshman at Bloomington in Indiana University. She turns 19 today, and I want to wish her happy birthday. Yes, my niece was actually born on my birthday, so it's
Just
all
not
hers.
the same year.
So no. No, which is why I'm still the same age. I've not aged. So wish her happy birthday. Love you. I would say her name, but I'm not sure her mom likes it when I say her name on the air. So but thank you for the ones who have wished me happy birthday. Thank you, Buckeye. Thank you, Sharon. And wow, I don't know, Rich, if you've watched any of this on the comment section. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah.
But while we were in there, 23 new comments coming in. So welcome, M's dad. Welcome, Buckeye. Welcome, Sharon. Welcome, Aiken. Patriots Prayer. Welcome, M's dad. I think I already said that. Mike Bollock. Thanks. Yeah, nice shirts. I don't know if you saw that, Mike, from To The Point podcast. Nice shirts, fellas. Thank you. We'll get into that here in a minute. Or we can get into that right now.
I know him.
And you know what? We will get into that right now. Do you want me to play Grit Gear or Lock and Load?
We do Lock and
Load.
Load.
Let's do Grit Gear now. Oh, let's do Lock and Load, and then we'll do Grit Gear.
Yeah.
How's that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Folks. Here's one of our sponsors, the guy on your right.
When ordinary coffee won't cut it, reach for Lock and Load coffee, the brew that means business. Crafted for those who demand more from their cup, Lock and Load delivers intense flavor, serious energy, and a sense of patriotism. Whether you're hitting the gym, the job, or the battlefield of life, Lock and Load coffee keeps you sharp and ready to go. Fuel your drive, stay unstoppable, and support an American-first brand. Lock and Load coffee. Ignite your day and conquer your mission. Do yourself a favor and order now at lockandloadcoffee.com.
Wow.
Folks, you will not be disappointed. Their coffee, if you like bold coffee, they're bolt action, and I believe it's M16, right? Are the two bolds?
Right, and we got a new one coming out, 6-shooter. I think I mentioned, which will be a medium roast, but it's actually stronger than our bold action. It's
I'm telling you, I'm a guy who puts one sweet and low in my cup of coffee when I make it, just one. But I can actually drink their coffee. I don't put anything in it. I can drink it black, and I drink the medium roast, the 1911, and help me, 1911 and the PPK. That's it. The PPK. Those are my two favorites. I drink those all the time.
And if you haven't noticed, all our names are gun related. So you got here PPK, which I'm a James Bond fan, which he uses that gun in most of the scenes. PPK 1911, M16, and a bolt action. I named it bolt action because the first gun I ever owned was a 22 bolt action rifle. So was my very first gun I ever owned. Best coffee around.
You are correct.
She's not biased, by the way.
No, but it doesn't. She's right.
She's
right.
I mean,
she can be biased, but you can also be right and be biased. Right?
She is right.
Right.
Right. So, anyways,
and so folks, go out to Lock and Load Coffee. You will not be disappointed. They're also owners of Great Gear Apparel, as you know, which these wonderful shirts that we're both wearing, we get those from. And these are just some. I mean, they have so many patriotic shirts and so many different things. I bought the two Back the Blue shirts from them. So they have all sorts of wear. If you like hoodies, Dale tells me, as does Buckeye, they're very soft, they're very comfortable. So you won't be disappointed, folks. But do not forget, every order you put the code. I forgot to do this last week, so do the code number 2 guys. That is 2 guys, number 2 GUYS. Use the code, you get 10% off. And again, folks, you will not be disappointed. I think I'm seeing this right. Buckeye, is it your birthday as well? I mean, do we share the same birthday? I mean,
oh boy.
I mean, this is phenomenal. 2 great people. And if you add my niece, 3 great people on the same day. That's actually pretty awesome. If it is your birthday out there, happy birthday. Thank you for joining. You are always great. Thank you, Tarna. Appreciate it. Okay, so, Buckeye, it is your birthday, so happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Buckeye.
Saying, but nobody wants to see that. or nobody wants to hear that.
It's not the same year.
So, all right. So we're going to talk
old,
about
Jim, remember.
Here we go. Mike, to the point, I bought a shirt for my wife and it got me in trouble. It was too small. All I said was 2025 goals. Ouch.
Yeah, we do have a shirt, the size chart on there. So they do run. I'm a large all the way around. I buy a large off the rack anywhere. I buy a large anywhere I go, and I use a large in our brand. Now, I will tell you, ours are fitted a little bit better. You notice on the arms, I can't, everything's backwards here. So it's not bulky and big. And we use a company that manufactures them here in the U.S. So that's, good.
And it does fit in the shoulders and the arms very well.
They're side seam. They're not a boxy, like a Gildan, large that could fit 3 different sizes.
Really hard to get my physique into where I look really good in them, but it takes a while anyway.
Well, you're wearing a small, right?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, if small would barely make it over my head, to be honest with you. So, okay, so folks, I don't know if you've been following this Davos thing. Right. For those of you who don't know, I think it's Davos, Sweden, right? I think it's Sweden or Switzerland, somewhere over there. But it's this World Economic Forum. Basically, it's the people who want to run the world. It's all the bankers, all the people who have the money, plus there's some world leaders there. You'll notice some last week when President Trump zoomed in and he was talking to them, and I love what he said. I love what he did. But we'll go into that in a little bit here on what he said, but I wanted to point out some things about what this. Okay, so first of all, very expensive caviar. the most expensive food that you can possibly have. Now, granted, all these people are very wealthy and, whatever, if that's what you want to do. But while they're deciding how the economy and the rest of the world is going, they're dining and doing some wonderful.
Right.
But they're also doing something else.
What is that, Jim? What
Do
are they
they
doing?
really talk about the economy, Rich? I mean, do they really? It seems that there are high dollar prostitutes, not just female prostitutes, but they've hired trans prostitutes as well. Now, I am not, you do whatever you want, however you want to live, your lifestyle, everything else. But while you're lecturing the rest of us about how you want us to have our money, maybe you should be a little bit more responsible with yours. But here is Jesse Waters kind of giving a little bit of background of what they're doing at Davos.
Goes back to the ancient Greeks, when philosophers like Aristotle and Socrates used to gather in what they called agoras, a space where philosophy and business and politics were discussed amongst some of Athens' best and brightest. These meetings generated a cauldron of ideas on how to organize society and achieve happiness. But today, when the so-called brightest minds get together, it's nothing but a debaucherous insane asylum. This week, thousands of the world's most elite executives and politicians jetted off to Davos, Switzerland for the World Economic Forum. Besides January 6th, it's their favorite day of the year. At the party, sociopaths indulge in the highest quality caviar, endless champagne, and psychedelic mushrooms. And where there's drugs, there's sex. It's the busiest week of the year for Swiss escorts. $700 an hour or $2,500 a night. Rates were much lower when Trump was president. Thank you, Bidenomics. You can almost smell the magic of the place when you're there, is how one well-connected regular describes the week. But of course, the magic isn't for everyone.
The music overlay was wonderful.
So what do you think, Rich? You think they were discussing, do you think the economy was brought up a whole lot during that time?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I will say when I watched it, I love Trump's when he intervened and came on and what he had to say. So
well, that was the kind of the highlight of the thing.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to point out, and we'll get into that right now, but I just wanted to point that out that here they are, the greatest so-called quote unquote economic minds in the world, and economy is not really on their mind.
No.
And if
they're
you're
worried about
trans
sex,
escort or trans prostitute, that's your prerogative, but don't lecture us about how you think the world needs to be and all this stuff, because Sodom and Gomorrah, and that's what it sounds like for that weekend. Davos was Sodom and Gomorrah. That's what it was. It was no rules. They didn't care. The morals were gone. Now, not everybody. Not everybody there participated in this. Okay, I'm not saying there was not every person who went there hired escorts or anything like that. But it just does seem that some of these things are a joke and it's ridiculous. But Rich, you mentioned Trump, but if anybody paid attention, and I know all of our listeners do because we're very in the know. But when President Trump zoomed in, he sent a message to them. I don't think they liked it.
No, they definitely did.
Because they don't like to be told what to do. They like to tell everyone else what to do. For the past 4 years, they've been able to control the United States of America because we were weak. Our leadership was weak. Weak is a bad word. Weak is a compliment to them. Our administration, the previous 4 years, was beyond weak. It was ridiculous. It was horrible. They sold us to the devil is what they did. But President Trump put America first, like he always does, Rich. And one of the things I took away from that is when he looked at the German car companies and he said to them, build a plant in the United States. Right. Build your beautiful cars in the United States. Build it in the United States. Now, if you choose not to, that's your prerogative. You have a right not to do that. However, you'll pay a high tariff when it comes in. Okay. So, and this is what it's all about. And if you think about it from the German auto standpoint, Rich, If they built a plant in the United States,
Mm-hmm.
sold those cars in
Right.
the United States, and there's
Right.
a lot. We see BMWs all over the
Right.
place, right? We see
Mhm.
Mercedes, we see every German car you can possibly imagine all over the place. You build it in there, you can sell it a little bit less, make more money because you're not spending the money to ship
Correct.
it over. This is even before the tariffs, right?
Right.
You ship it over, all that cost in there, but you build it in the United States. And so what's wrong with that? And now he offers, if you build a plant in the United States and you build your cars or whatever you choose to build in the United States, he will give you a low corporate tax rate.
And people don't understand that Trump is really trying to set something up here. He's trying to set up Americans and get them jobs. Bring that manufacturer here in the States and build them here, hire U.S. employees, and save yourself some money, make more money. You know, when you break it down, the tariffs that's going to be on these vehicles and the fact that it's going to obviously affect consumers. It's going to affect us.
Right.
But will sales go down because of it? I would have to say yes. I would think sales would go down. If they go up to 25% on a Mercedes, say, man, that's quite a significant amount of money. They're already expensive to begin with. So when you start adding 25% or 30%, you know, they're not, whatever the tariff, if it's 25%, they're going to charge more than 25% more on that car. They're going to charge 40%, and they're going to blame that on Trump. So
Right.
Go ahead.
Nope, finish.
No. So even though he's maybe doing a 25%, they're going to raise their price 45% and try to hurt us even more and blame it on Trump. Bring the manufacturer here, build the cars here, put U.S. employees in there. I don't even care if you bring some of their engineers over here, whatever, but if they're working here, they're paying taxes and stuff like that to help our U.S. build the cars the way they want them done and get it done right. It's a win-win for America. I think Trump is trying to set it up, and ultimately he's trying to build jobs here in America, because I think what he's trying to do is get them to actually build a facility. So the cost of the facility would outweigh the tariffs.
Right. And everybody understand, and we all know it because we follow President Trump, and we know when he says tariffs, it's the beginning negotiating play.
Right.
That's all it is. Okay.
Yeah, people think, oh, it's going to raise all the prices. Well, yeah, at first it may. It's going to take time for them to realize, oh, I see.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have tariffs if we spend $1 billion in the United States and put a nice factory or whatever. You know,
and we'll give you an example of a tariff that he negotiated with a certain country with this immigration thing. That's
that kind of worked. Yeah, there's a new cook in the kitchen, baby.
Yep. And that's how it works. Tariffs are a way to start your negotiating process, right? They're to say, look, guys, the United States have helped and supported the rest of the world at our own detriment, right? At our own peril. While we were doing that, China has become more powerful. They have become moving head above. I still think we're number one. I honestly think. And what helps us is our Navy. Our Navy is what puts us heads above everyone else. However, China's building their Navy. Their Navy is getting bigger. Yes, Buckeye, we're going to get into that here in a minute.
Yeah,
she put that Columbia down there. So we have to understand that the tariffs are negotiating play. That's all it is. Okay. But the left doesn't, I mean, the View, those wonderful people on the View, those intelligent, whoever you want to call them on the View, which that's a joke, by the way, everything else.
Oh, is that show still on air?
Yeah. And the 5 people that are still watching it. So all it is the beginning play. All right. Play ball. Let's figure this out. Because what does he want to do? He just wants to make America stronger. He wants to make America better. He wants to make sure America's working instead of supplying. We're still going to help the rest of the world. He's not saying we're going to shut down, build a dome, and not help. No, that is not what he is saying. We are helping the rest of the world, but you know what? We're going to help the United States.
Well, and
nobody else seems to be helping.
Right, and nobody's saying they don't make good products. China makes. I mean, Sony's over there. A lot. I mean, a lot of our, almost, I would say, probably every phone you're holding is from China. Probably. Yep. There's good products, but let's produce that. Let's America reap some benefits from producing some of that stuff here.
Well, and going one step further, I think if I'm not mistaken, folks, I did hear over the weekend and part of last week that Samsung is going to do manufacturing here. And I don't know what Samsung's going to build. I don't know if it's phones. I don't know if it's televisions.
Right.
I don't know, but they're building a plant here. And so, and we just found out that Stellantis is now going to reopen a plant in Illinois that was shutting down, but they are, Samsung is
from Japan.
So yeah. But that does help because it is coming back to us, because the United States, I don't think, is there a television or a phone made in the United States? Is there? I don't know. I don't know if Vizio is. I don't.
RCA.
I have no idea.
I don't even know.
But anyway, that's what we're trying to do. And Stellantis has in that plant in Illinois, they're building the Jeep up there. Okay, so now remember, I think it was the plant that everybody that, if you remember, that they were promised, their employees were promised, we're going to go electric, we're going to build an electric vehicle here, but you're going to keep your jobs. And then after they made this announcement, they laid off half the group, half the workforce. But it sounds like they're coming back because they're going to build the Jeep there. And Stellantis is also informed that they're going to build the Durango here, add more Durangos to the line. So again, this isn't because President Biden started this. This is just President Trump, in less than a week, he has done all of this. Now, Sunny Hostin from the 5. Okay.
Oh, we love her.
I don't know if anybody heard this, and I'm not even going to play it because I'm trying not to give them any more credit or any more attention than what we need to. But she made the comment, I went to the grocery store and prices are still high.
Oh, my Lord.
2 days, folks. It was only 2 days when she made this comment. So she's being an idiot. She knows that that's not what's coming down. But she knows that her viewers are that intelligent that they're going to believe it. That's right. He's been in office, and our prices haven't come down.
Gas hasn't come down. Eggs are still $5 a dozen.
Vizio is made in Mexico. There we go.
There it is.
Thank you, Buckeye. As usual, you're spot on. Okay, so let's jump to immigration. There is a lot going on here, is there not? So I want to talk about.
I think more has happened in this week than 4 years in the last 4 years.
It's amazing what they are doing. We looked at Buckeye. You mentioned this earlier. We talked about the tariffs. We sent planes from Colombia that had Colombia citizens on the plane back to Colombia, and they
illegal immigrants,
illegals, right?
Criminals,
we need to
and
make
these
sure.
these were criminals more than just illegal immigrants. They were criminals.
These are the worst of the worst. Remember, this is the first group. This is the first group of going in and taking up the worst of the worst. Well, Colombian president refused to accept the plane. So President Trump informed
they don't want them back.
We don't
want those guys back. No, we hear.
We hear Venezuela's crime has gone down 70%. Well, of course, they sent all.
They're all in the U.S.
Yeah. So anyway, we have all of this. I'm getting to that, Aiken. We're going to talk about that here shortly. And because that's one of the stories. But we talk about, so President Trump, okay, Colombia, you're not taking the planes, 25% tariff on all your. So the president of Colombia said, we'll send our own plane to pick them up.
We already have a 25% tariff on them. He raised it another 25 on top of it, which would be 50% tariff on everything coming in the States. And Jim, what happened? What in 6 minutes, I believe.
The way he kind of covered his butt a little bit.
Yeah.
He said, okay, we'll send our own plane to pick them up.
Not only plane, his presidential plane, and pick them up. And that was in 6 minutes after Trump.
Yep.
You know what?
It's insane. It's insane how all of this is happening. Then we have to hear all these different things. I'm going to go into a Catholic Charities did a video that I want to show.
I don't know if all foreign leaders yet understand that Biden is no longer in charge here. They do. When that happened, he probably said, "Oh, okay, yeah."
It's
strength.
This man is great for this country. He is going to help this country out. He is going to make us better and make us stronger. And
he did it from a golf course.
Now, Aiken McGrone brought this up. So here's the story of this. If anybody hasn't found out, between 75 and 80,000 children. Remember the missing children, or the 300,000 have been found. Now, we're going to get into this, but we'll explain.
How were they found, Jim?
They were just found. They
just found.
actually, somebody went and looked for them.
So basically, just if you were to look,
you would find them. And now, Mayorkas, when he was on an interview with one of the great news channels that are laying off people and going
the
away,
adults are back in charge. That's a great comment.
Yep. He made a point, Mayorkas, to say not all these 300,000 children plus are being trafficked. Now, he wasn't wrong about that. Now, the 75 to 80,000 kids that they found, they might have been with their family members all along.
Correct.
They might have been. We don't really know.
But the question I need to ask right now, Jim, give me the answer if you know it. Why didn't Biden and Kamala do this?
Correct.
If they were that easy to be found, whether they were with parents or not, why didn't they do this?
They don't give a shit. They didn't.
They
care.
don't care.
Do not care. And it's edit. But here's a Fox on Fox News. Here's what they talked about.
That Tom Home and the borders are for Trump has told me about, and all of this will focus on those missing children, hundreds of thousands of them that we know. And that number has started to already come down, Emily, from 300,000. So they found about 75 to 80,000 of those kids already. If they can get the list of these guys, 4 full days in office for Trump, if they can get the list of where some of those kids have been, and they've been identifying it, since the election, going after them and trying to find those little ones, what in the world was Biden's administration doing? What was Secretary of Homeland Mayorkas doing when he said to the committees on Capitol Hill, we don't know where those kids are, I'll look into it? No, dude, you obviously had a better way to find them, and you didn't do your job. I can't believe they impeached him and didn't remove him.
That's the big thing. And Jim, every American should be asking that question. Why they don't care. That's why they did not care.
No, remember AOC going down to the border and crying by those cages. Remember that video that captured her crying? Why don't they care about the children now?
Yeah. Why aren't they coming out and saying, we're so happy we found these? They don't care.
So they found them. And no, I haven't seen AOC come out and say, hey, you know what? I don't always agree with President Trump, but great job, guys. Great job, Homan. Great job, President Trump, finding those kids. Great. Do we hear that?
No, you want to unite this country. We need some Democrats coming out and saying, good job, Trump. I mean, on this, at least this, for crying out loud. These are our children. You don't mess with our kids. Plain and simple.
Yep. It's all good. I mean, we're getting there. It's going to take time, folks. It's not going to happen overnight because you got to go in and find. The interesting thing comes when they want to go into the jails of these sanctuary cities. That's where it gets interesting. And I've got a little thing I want to show you, but we've talked about these NGOs, and if anybody watched JJ Carroll's two shows, Trafficked and Invasion, about the immigration crisis that we have in this country, he talked about the NGOs, non-government organizations, right? There's the money that these organizations get to help people. I mean, we have a problem here sometimes with our Catholic charities here and locally because they bring in these individuals from Burmese, and they just let them loose in the community. And, a lot of people, and they don't know how to speak English. So they go into our schools. We have to help take care of them. We have to help house them. And then we have to have teachers who have to teach them how to speak English and all of this stuff. And so anyway, it goes into that, but it's worse than that. So now we've got Catholic charities sending out a video to assist illegals. And I've got a comment to make after this, and I want to get your opinion on it too after this is over. It's a little bit longer than normal. It's not like 3 minutes, but it's about 2 minutes long. So pay attention, folks. This is the Catholic charities doing a video to illegals on how to evade capture.
Hi, my name's Barb Graham, and I'm an attorney at Catholic Charities of the Archdiocese of Milwaukee in the Refugee and Immigration Services Program. This is a video about knowing your rights if Immigration and Customs Enforcement approaches you. All people living in the United States, including people who are undocumented, have certain rights under the United States Constitution. If immigration officers, what we sometimes call Immigration and Customs Enforcement or ICE, come to your workplace, they must have a valid search warrant or the consent of your employer to enter non-public areas. If you are undocumented and immigration officers come to your workplace, be aware of the following. First, do not panic and do not run away. If you are frightened and feel like you need to leave, you can calmly walk toward the exit. If you are stopped, you may ask if you are free to leave. If the officer says no, do not try to exit the building. If you are questioned, you may tell them you want to remain silent. 2. You have the right to remain silent. You do not need to speak to the immigration authorities or answer any questions. If you are asked where you were born or how you entered the United States, you may simply refuse to answer or remain silent. If you choose to remain silent, say so out loud. If they ask you to stand in a group according to your immigration status, you do not have to move, or you can move to an area that is not designated for any particular group. You may show a Know Your Rights card to an officer that explains that you will remain silent and you wish to speak to a lawyer. You may refuse to show identity documents and say what country you are from. Do not, though, show any false documents and do not lie. 3rd, you have the right to speak to a lawyer. If you are detained or taken into custody, you have the right to immediately contact a lawyer. Even if you do not have a lawyer, you may tell immigration officers that you want to speak to one. If you have a lawyer, you have the right to talk to them. If you have signed a form called a G-28, which shows that you have a lawyer, give it to the officer. If you do not have a lawyer, ask for an immigration officer for a list of pro bono lawyers. You also have the right to contact your consulate. The consulate may be able to assist you in locating a lawyer. You can refuse to sign any or all paperwork until you've had the opportunity to speak to a lawyer. If you choose to sign something without speaking to a lawyer, be sure you understand exactly what the document says and what the document means before you sign it. If you want more information about your rights or to learn you might be eligible for immigration benefits or relief.
I don't need to hear that anymore.
Yeah.
So, Rich, this is the question that I have, because we're talking about illegal aliens. They always want to call
I wonder if it's the same question I have, but go ahead.
They want to call it immigrants. That's all they want to do. They
undocumented,
want to call it immigrants, right? Or undocumented, or however
they don't ever want to put the illegal in there.
It's
anymore.
Illegal immigrants. We all know it. Everyone watching this show, everyone watching this network,
they've already committed a crime, people.
Correct. So my question is this. She said, know your rights.
Know your rights.
If you're here illegally, do you have rights within the Constitution?
That's funny. That was my question. Are our rights for everyone or for American citizens?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not a lawyer.
Exactly.
I'm not a lawyer, so I'm not giving anybody advice here. I'm just asking the question. Are our rights for American citizens or are they for everybody?
It's for... I'm taking it and I'm going to go make a stand. I believe it is for the American citizens.
I believe
because it's, I mean, you can't, I mean,
then what differentiates us from undocumented if we don't have rights as an American citizen?
Correct. Yep. And so we look at it from this standpoint, and I saw something today because we're going to talk a little bit about the birthright. Okay. We've seen 2 illegals have a child in the country. That child is American citizen.
The 14th Amendment.
14th Amendment.
Know your amendment,
is this
people.
Open for a lot of interpretation. Okay.
Wow.
But here's somebody made a comment, and I know it doesn't. It does kind of make a good point, but I was watching that if I live next to a farm, and a cow comes over into my neighbor in my yard, and has a calf, that calf is not mine.
Was that you, Rose? Did I read that from you today?
No, it wasn't from me, but it was on Facebook. It was on
right.
Facebook.
I saw that
out there. So you know, I get it. This is a human being, but is that this is what we're talking about here, folks? And there's that little term in the 14th Amendment.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and it's the 6 words, and I can't remember what they are, but it's the 6 words that's being challenged right now. And it's going to be challenged. It's going to go up to the Supreme Court. And I'm going to be very interested to see how because it's going to be passed up. And President Trump knew it when he did the executive order,
right?
Losing the birthright status.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my question is this. Why, if an individual, 2 illegals who are in this country illegally, broke the law, have a child,
mm-hmm.
that child becomes an American citizen? Why? The 14th Amendment does say that if you are born in the United States, you are a citizen, but there's those 6 words in there before that where they talk about as the area, or I can't, God, I wish I wrote it down. But anyway, it's regarding, so that is where you get into the specifics. Are they just talking about citizens or one citizen.
Right.
Okay. So that's where it's going to go. And that's why it's going to go to the Supreme Court. I personally believe we need to stop that. Okay. If you are two illegals and you come into this country and you have a baby, that baby is a representative of the nation you came from, because that is who you are part of. You are not legally in this country yet. So that child can, in my opinion, cannot be an American citizen. That's what I'm going on. And that's what I'm hoping it gets to the point. Now, look, he knew this was going to be a challenge. That's why he did it early, right? He did this early for the birthright because he knows it's going to take a while. We may not know about it until towards the end of his time. So we could be getting that. So go ahead.
No, I agree with you. I mean, it's semantics. I mean, when you know, I'm an American, my wife's an American, we have a child. I think that's how it's meant to be worded. I think you need to you would yeah. I think you need to start with a legal citizen, two of them, to produce a child that will become a child. Basically, what it's saying, they don't have to go through immigration laws and stuff like that, and to become a citizen. They're born in the United States from two legal, documented citizens here in the United States. I think that's, I mean, and what it's good is when you come in this country legally, and you marry and you have a child, then I think that they're protected under the 14th Amendment. I don't see, someone made a comment that when you're an illegal, you have zero rights as far as an American. I tend to agree with that. You have no rights under our Constitution. So if they don't have rights, how would the 14th Amendment apply to them?
Yep. And that's what I'm saying. If you are here illegally, you have
you have no rights. So how can the 14th Amendment, how can you be protected under the 14th Amendment if you do not have any rights?
And
somebody answer me that. I mean, that's a valid question.
Yep. And this is why the left calls them illegal. Do not call them illegal.
They want to just say undocumented or newcomers or whatever kind of flaky thing they want to put on there to make it feel
call it whatever you want to call it. We know what it is. Right? I mean, they're illegal here illegally, broke the law.
Go into Mexico illegally and see what they do.
Yeah, and if we're two Americans have children in Mexico,
they're not that child is not a Mexican citizen.
So it is going to go to the Supreme Court, and I don't know what happens once it gets there. I'm hoping they say yes. The terminology is as such.
That's going to be executive orders. Jim, help me out. I'm having a brain freeze on this. How are they voted? Is it through the Senate or the House?
Executive orders aren't voted.
Well, like this, it's going to go to the Supreme Court.
Supreme Court in order.
Okay, thank you. That's right.
An amendment change.
I didn't mean order, but as far as not voting, I mean.
So let's say the Supreme Court
executive order doesn't. Yes, go ahead.
Right. Let's say the Supreme Court upholds the birthright status by the 14th Amendment. Let's say they do that. Well, then the next thing is to amend that 14th Amendment. That's where
you got to have 75% of the states agreeing with it, or
75% of the states have to vote on it, which we already know 22 states already filed a lawsuit against it. So we know they're not getting 75, right?
Right.
And then you have to, I think, 2/3 of Congress. And that's just not going to, it's almost going to be impossible to.
It's almost impossible to change an amendment. It really is.
And I'm going to be honest with you. As far as what we're doing with let's put this on the back burner for now.
Okay.
The birthright. No. This is what I'm saying to our administration. Let's put this on the back burner for now, because let's get them out first.
Right.
Let's get these illegals out of here. Let's get sanity back into this country. Let's do that. And then after all of this is done and after all of this has been decided, then let's address that again.
But you know what, why they're pushing this for it not to happen is because if they have a child and then you have the parents are illegally here, that would bond them to be able to stay and wouldn't be deported. That's what they're trying to do. You cannot separate the parents from the children. And
You're entitled to go with the children.
You know, if I commit a crime and I'm driving down the road and I've just committed a crime and I have my children with me, if I get pulled over, what happens? They're going to separate me from my children.
Yep.
Right.
Tarna, you're right. They have zero rights when you're called illegal. You are correct. And that's what we're trying to say. That's what we believe.
That's what I believe.
And it's like the Constitution was created for American citizens, not for the world. Okay. It was the United States of America when it was founded. The Constitution was. Now we've had amendments, and you can amend an amendment. You can amend the Constitution.
It takes
but it
a
takes
great
a lot
deal
to do it. And,
you know, this country, a lot of people died.
Yes.
To have this country, to celebrate what is coming up on our 250th anniversary. And people think, oh, the people that signed the Declaration, those people, they were martyred, man. Most of those people had horrendous deaths. They were hung, they were killed, and their family members. So they didn't just do it wholeheartedly. They went all in. They knew what the outcome was going to be. And here we have a great country, and then people are trying to take it away from us.
M's dad, 100%. The left wants to call them newcomers.
They want to make it as nice and comfortable as possible.
Yeah, and and they shouldn't be. I want an illegal person who is here illegal. I want them to remember what it was like before Obama came around, right? Or not even before, when Obama was in office, because Obama had more returns than any president, including Reagan. When Obama came in, Obama did follow our
he had
laws
the most deport. Yes,
yeah, he deported them when they had it. It was. We just need to get back to the country of common sense and worry about our American citizens. And folks, there is a process to come here.
Exactly.
So if you want to challenge the process, left, if you want to challenge the process, then bring it to a vote on, well, let's do this. It's really difficult to get into the country. By the way, it should be difficult.
It should be.
To get into this country.
To become a citizen. Yes.
Yeah, it should be difficult. It shouldn't be easy. But there's a way to do it. And AOC, I love how she always does this. They're seeking asylum. Like Holman says. There's a process for that. You don't just walk into this country. You go to a consulate. You go to an embassy. You go to the United States and say, "Hey, I'm declaring asylum." Okay.
And how many of them actually need to have asylum?
Not from Mexico. Not from Venezuela. Now, Venezuela is a possibility when they're going through all their crap. But there's a process. Okay. Now there's a process that when you stay in Mexico, which is President Trump put that in there now, and it's working. It's stay in Mexico. So we capture them, we put them in Mexico, and we do. You've got a red mark from Interpol. You're not coming in. You're
not coming in.
Right. So it's pretty simple. But JD Vance, as usual, has to educate the biased media.
Right.
Okay. So watch this. What he said on.
Agree that all these immigrants or all these refugees have been properly vetted. In fact, we know that there are cases of people who allegedly were properly vetted and then were literally planning terrorist attacks on our country. That happened during the campaign, if you may remember. So clearly not all of these foreign nationals have been properly vetted.
But there are 30,000 people in the pipeline, Afghan refugees.
But my primary concern as the vice president, Margaret, is to look after the American people. And now that we know that we have vetting problems with a lot of these refugee programs, we absolutely cannot unleash thousands of unvetted people into our country.
These people are vetted. Good. These people are vetted.
Just like the guy who planned a terrorist attack in Oklahoma a few months ago, he was allegedly properly vetted. And many people in the media and the Democratic Party said that he was properly vetted. Clearly he wasn't. I don't want my children to share a neighborhood with people who are not properly vetted. And because I don't want it for my kids, I'm not going to force any other American citizens' kids to do that either.
No, and that was a very particular case. It wasn't clear if he was radicalized when he got here or while he was living here.
I don't really care, Margaret. I don't want that person in my country, and I think most Americans agree with me.
Yeah. You know, this is one reason why I will never be vice president or president, because I would have probably threw something at her.
Yeah,
he handles it very well. He just so boom.
Yeah, JD Vance, and for all of you who've listened, he wasn't necessarily my first choice for vice president, but he grew on me over time listening to him, and this is another example of why he belongs there. This is another example. 4 years
with Trump, what's he going to be like in 2020?
This is another example of why the Democrats, if you want to beat him, If you want to beat him in 2028, you better come better than what you've got out there. Okay.
Or Trump might have another 4 years if that.
I know they're
trying to get that passed.
I would hate to see that, because that's what it feeds right into what the left said. Trump is never going to leave and stuff,
Right.
and it's not. We don't need that. He's doing a great job. He's fixing it, and let's just get JD Vance in there and go.
Right.
Frankly, Margaret, I don't give a damn. That's exactly what he should have said. And Buckeye, you're right. Vetted my ass. They weren't stupid. And but she is a pain in the. They try to get him, which is funny, is they think they're smarter than Trump and Vance, and they're not. President Trump and Vice President Vance is not President Biden and Vice President Harris. All right, they know their shit. They know what they're talking about, and you can't get them. You're right. Not gonna lie, this is a channel for my. Oh, this is not gonna lie. This is the channel for my other gig. Okay, I'm not quite sure.
I'm not sure what he's saying.
Okay, it's Mike. It's the Patriot Prayer Network fan.
Right.
Okay, so one last thing on the illegals. We all see what's going on in Chicago. We all hear it, especially if you watch This Is Treason from JJ Carroll. Go to thisistreason.com, I believe, and you can watch both. You have to. I'm telling you, you have to watch it. Well, because part of it is Chicago. And we all hear what's going on. I'm going to play this whole thing. It's 2 minutes, but this is a citizen of Chicago talking to the mayor. Okay. And you got to hear, folks, this is what is going on that the left media will not play.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. You spent over $574 million on illegal immigrants here in Chicago, Illinois since 2022. Now, you still feel like you have to harbor these illegals, which is not a good idea. And in my personal opinion, I don't think it's a good idea to challenge Tom Homan on this, because he's trying to clean up our cities, Mr. Brandon Johnson. Now, let me just remind everybody here that Brandon Johnson is terrible with the budget. How is this $40 million credit line is going to work exactly? Because the key word is credit. So how much will we be using from this $40 million? And the real question is, how much will we be paying back? Now, you want to sit here, you and J.B. Pritzker want to puff out your chest and fight Tom Homan. We need Tom Homan here in Chicago. We need Donald Trump. And I don't want to see people like Pam Bundy and Cash Patel, haul you up out of here and become prosecuted. I don't want to see that happen.
We do.
But they will do their job if they have to, Brandon Johnson. Now, we are $1 billion in debt. That's absolutely insane. Kamala Harris, she spent $1 billion on her campaign less than a year, and she's $20 million in debt. So it's looking like Democrats are bad with money. Now, you ignored me for 10 to 15 seconds last time I was speaking, and I really did not appreciate that at all. But I got a Christmas present for you. Let's remind the people of Chicago that Brandon Johnson spent $32,000 in campaign funds on haircuts and makeup. So I got an early Christmas present for you, Brandon Johnson. This is some makeup for you right here. You got some rouge. You got the makeup brush right there, so you can save this people some money, for crying out loud. Now, let me tell you people, I'm going to be serious here. We need to start voting different in these cities like New York and Chicago. Stop voting these people in. It's not Democrat versus Republican anymore. It is populist versus establishment. It is the populist versus the establishment. Stop letting them trick you into the race baiting when it comes to Brandon Johnson. Oh, black people need help too. Trump want to hurt black people. What are you talking about? We're legal here. We are legal.
I love that man. He's got my vote for mayor of Chicago, even though I can't vote. Yes, this guy blasted Brandon Johnson.
Loved it.
Chicagoans are fed up with their leadership. GOP has to spend some money in Chicago, turn Chicago red. I think now's the time.
Absolutely.
I think you have to go in, because we conservatives have always sat back and allowed the Dems to tell everybody that we're racist, that we're homophobes, that we're transphobes, that we don't like any of this stuff. We never said any of that. Now, there might be some people out there that are, but for the majority of it, the conservatives and Republican Party are not. That's how they triggered us as. That's how they want to define us. But now it's like people are starting to realize that it is worth a Republican to go into Chicago. it is worth a Republican to go into New York because people are waking up. They're realizing that, you know what, all this bullshit that I'm being fed is a crock. Look at what's happening in Chicago. Aiken, you're right. They are waking up.
They are waking up.
And M's dad, you correct.
Dems are bad with money.
That is definitely, we should have put that in a movie quote. But
we should put that on a shirt.
Oh yeah, there we go. Nobody is buying the Dem propaganda other than the Dems.
When does it become a thing if you don't agree with something? They put phobia at the back end of it. You know, homophobia, transphobia. Why, if I don't agree with something, am I the problem?
Yep. And Mike, you're right. Wow. Common sense. Amazing. Yeah. It's amazing what we can do with this stuff. So folks, I wanted to give that to you because there are things going on in Chicago and in New York. Eric Adams has said the Democratic Party have left him. Now, he has not come out and said, M's dad would buy that shirt, by the way, Rich. Dems are bad with money. And actually, we need to get this guy, have him on, and then put his face on it. I mean,
who said that? Look,
it's just a resident from Chicago. That's all it was. Very well spoken. It's just I'm telling you that this whole immigration thing is what won the election. Okay. And the border, that is what won the election for Trump. Yeah, the economy, but the economy was bad because of what was going on with the border. We weren't paying any attention to anything else. All they cared about is the border. So, but I just wanted to play those things because we are waking up in America. We are fighting back. Things are getting better. We just have to stay the course. Okay, so what I want to do here, I think we have to play some things that I actually thought were great because, folks, Mayorkas is gone. Here's the new DH.
Without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion.
And that I will well and faithfully discharge.
And that I will well and faithfully discharge.
The duties of the office on which I'm about to enter.
The duties on the office of which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
All right. And one more thing.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Pete Hegseth.
I, Pete Hegseth.
Do solemnly swear.
Do solemnly swear.
That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
That I take this obligation freely.
That I take this obligation freely.
Without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion.
Without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion.
And that I will well and faithfully discharge.
And that I will well and faithfully discharge.
The duties of the office on which I am about to enter.
The duties of the office of which I am about to enter.
So help you God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Mr. Secretary.
I have never been more happier for an individual than I am for him because the way they just demonized him. They just cut him down. And nobody's going to remember 5150, right? Van Halen. No one's going to remember 5150. They're going to remember Pete Hegseth built this military and got it back again.
But will we forget the two Republicans that voted against him? Three against them.
Mm-hmm. And Clay Travis made an interesting point, and he's right. Susan Collins voted against him. Mm-hmm. Susan Collins is from a state where Trump lost by 6 to 8 points. So Susan Collins has to keep a certain voting record going, right? She can't be completely conservative because she is from a very liberal, getting less liberal, but from a liberal state. But Murkowski and Murkowski, her state, President Trump won that state by what, 36,
Kentucky.
30 something points, and Kentucky won by like 16 to 19 points, something like that. Wake up. Okay.
Time to remove them.
Murkowski needs to go. She only got that because of family. And Mitch McConnell is going to be gone. It's just not soon enough, right? He's not running. He's not
I'm not sure if he even understands what he voted for.
Right. But I just wanted to show those swearing ins because, folks, those were the two that were at the beginning, the newer ones that are supposed to be at the beginning, that were the toughest ones to get. And Kristi Noem, I don't know how many of you know anything about her, but she is phenomenal. Okay. She is going to be great. And and then P. Hexeth, I mean, come on. I mean, when you're supported by the military, military wanted him by a large margin.
And he's a three flag man guy. Do you know that? He wears 3 flags all the time.
Yep. And he's a phenomenal individual. And so we're getting there. We're getting there, folks. Something else too. Is it, I always mispronounce his name, the Secretary of Treasury, Ben's, somebody needs to help me. I need to look it up. Look it up real quick, please. I'm curious on it because he and Duffy are Duffy's the transportation secretary, but it starts with a B, I believe. Bessett. Thank you, M's dad.
I wasn't quick enough for you.
Bessett. He's a homosexual. Yeah. So I'm waiting for the Democrats because I'm going to do this. As soon as the Democrats vote against him, I'm going to call every one of those Democrats homophobes. Look at that. They did not vote for a gay man because Pete Buttigieg was transportation secretary.
It's so easy for you to say, Jim.
And he's terrible.
He's horrible.
He's a gay man.
Horrible.
I am not saying, none of us are saying homosexuals cannot do the job. That homosexual could not do the job. Bessett, I believe Bessett's the one that's gay. I believe he is. He's fantastic. He knows what's going on. He's going to do the right thing, and he's going to make everything better with the Treasury Department. Better than the idiot that we had previous. I mean, come on. This was a DEI administration. We've been saying it since day one. And our administration that's coming in now, President Trump's administration, I say ours, but the correct administration that's coming in, it doesn't matter what religion, sex, or creed you are. If you're qualified to do your job, you're getting the job. And that's what's going to happen. And that's why we have Kristi Noem as Department of Homeland Security. That's why, spit it out, Jim. I'm trying. But anyway, so I want to go to one thing real quick because we need to get into our top 5 movie quotes. John Ratcliffe released some CIA information regarding COVID. We all knew it, right? But it's really nice that somebody has come out and said it.
The CIA, which is the best foreign intelligence service in the world, after 5 years to not have a public assessment, to be honest with the American people about where the likely source of a pandemic that killed millions around the world, including 1 million Americans, and really impacted all 345 million Americans in some way. People lost jobs, they lost houses, they lost their health. They lost their businesses, all of that. And so I had the opportunity on my first day to make public an assessment that actually took place in the Biden administration. So it can't be accused of being political, and it does assess. The CIA has assessed that the most likely cause of this pandemic that has wrought so much devastation around the world was because of a lab-related incident in Wuhan. And so we'll continue to investigate that moving forward. But I think it was important for the American people to see an institution like the CIA get off the sidelines and be truthful about what our intelligence shows, at the same time of protecting us from adversaries like China if they caused or contributed to this.
We knew it, right?
Yep.
I mean, we knew it. But it's nice to know that the CIA under Obama tried it. We all knew that too. So which means that because Fauci did have some ownership in that lab, if I'm not mistaken. And I believe some other high prominent leftist.
And what just happened to Fauci?
Yep. Lost his, which should. I mean, the man, and I don't like the fact that he's been pardoned. I don't like that at all, because that man has
baby steps with him right now.
Responsible for a lot of murders. Anyway, so we're gonna play something here really quick. It's a sponsor of ours. They sponsor gear like clothing and stuff like that. The stuff that we have on. And you might know it, Rich. I don't know if you don't, but if you haven't heard of this company, they are phenomenal.
Grit is defined as firmness of character, unyielding courage in the face of hardship or danger. At Grit Gear Apparel, we honor all military, police, fire, public service, and patriotic Americans, both men and women regardless of color, creed, or religion. Our brand represents the love and freedom for our country, the heroism of all our men and women, and the principles of what this wonderful country was built on. Our goal is to regenerate the sense of patriotism and to spark the American pride within us, to stand together in the toughest times and become victorious, to preserve all our freedoms, to honor our flag, and to respect the men and women who have fought and died for us to have these freedoms. Wear our brand with pride, with a sense of patriotism, and as a statement for the love of our country. Whether you're military, public official, or civilian, our brand is for you. Together we stand as Americans.
Grit
true.
Gear Apparel.
Thank you, Buckeye.
Thank you, Buckeye. These shirts that we're wearing, I mean, these are just small amounts. The hat, the coffee mugs, and I need to get the new one yet. I have to order.
Yes.
But they're great clothing. I can't stress enough how comfortable they are. And I've watched this many times, and it's
let's hope so, anyways.
Yeah. Well, you can't smell it on. Thank God you can't smell it through the TV or through the computer. But folks, again, use code 2GUYS. Nice. That's the number 2 GUYS. You will not be disappointed. I kid you not. The coffee, the clothing. Just go out and look at all the different patriotic apparel they have everywhere. You can get long sleeve, you can get short sleeve, you can get hoodies. It's all, and then plus the hats. You get and then of course the coffee. The coffee's fantastic. Whatever, if you like mild coffee to dark coffee, they have it. And a new coffee is coming out. Rich, you want to tell them?
Yeah, we have a few different coffees coming out. One's going to be 6-shooter, one will be double barrel, and then we have 50 cal. All those will be our 50 cal will be our espresso. Double barrel will be 2 origins mixed, and then the 6-shooter is our new latest one that we're coming out with. But thank you for the kind words, Jim. Also, I want to say, who was the guy that bought a shirt and was too small? You can send that back, and we'll send one out that will fit you if you'd like, or if you're doing your resolution to try and lose weight, if you want to keep it and do that as well. But whatever.
Ed likes the name of it.
50 cal.
They're great names, folks. That's seriously, you just try it out. Go out there, order it. You can get cups, you can get ground coffee, you can get beans, you can get
whole bean, ground, K cups, whatever you want.
And Rich and Sharon have become expert in coffee roasting.
Well, it's funny because if you would have talked to me a couple of years ago, I would have said, yeah, I'm not going to be having a coffee company, but here we are. Mike's
not going to send it back because his daughter loves it.
Oh, no way. So, there you go.
But you did say we'll be buying more. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Folks, that's really, we wanted to talk a little bit about the California fires, but we're running short on time, and we want to kind of not go as long.
Well, it was, if you haven't seen the videos of Trump being there and putting the mayor in place and the congressman and all sitting around the U-shaped tables, go online and do that yourself. Something epic.
Well,
Trump
he schooled the mayor and he schooled the governor.
Yeah, just put them in their place. Yep. He wants it done today. They want 18 months, letting the people just go watch it.
Yep. Okay, so I guess that brings us to folks, the top 5 today. Damn,
who came up with this?
The top 5 movie quotes, and this was Rich's idea. So don't you?
Was it mine? Was it mine? So we need to have a top 100 for this, honestly, and you need to break it in category like comedian, comic. There's so many. Am I wrong?
Actually, here's another thing we can do for future ones. We can do a top 5 movie quotes from Will Ferrell, top 5 movie quotes from Mel Brooks, top 5 movie quotes from 80s movie. I mean, we can do that.
Comedy, drama.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's what really needs to happen.
There's so many. I mean, there's so many iconic. We didn't say iconic. We said our best. So these would be stuff that we kind of. I mean, there's iconic ones and stuff like that that I say around the house constantly. When my brother and I are together, we only talk in movie quotes. That's just how we talk. So,
and keep in mind the movie quotes. Look, I know there's some great ones out there, right? Frankly, Scarlett, I don't give a damn.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's the proper one. But you know, you got I'll be back. Say hello to my little friend. All of these out there, they're great. They're iconic. I, on the other hand, go with what I like to repeat, and so it's important. So let's start with Taken. Number 5, gentlemen, you can fight in here, or you can't
fight in here. This is a war room. Yes,
I like that one.
Yeah.
Number 4, why so serious?
Why so serious? Dark
Number
Knight.
3, I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse. Gee, that might be on my list.
That's
2,
a very iconic one.
Number 2, do I feel lucky? Well, do
you punk?
And then number 1, I'm your Huckleberry. Yep.
Probably one of the greatest Westerns ever out there. I mean, come on, you know.
And Buckeye, awesome. Thank you. It's just a flesh wound.
That was going to be on mine. That's a perfect one. He's got his arm completely cut off. It's only a flesh wound.
As If from Clueless. Yep.
Yeah.
I can't believe I did not have that on mine. Because I love Die Hard and
you can't take our freedom. Right.
Buckeye, that is absolutely.
Those
if
are good
anybody
ones.
watches a Mel Gibson movie, Braveheart is a must watch. It's long, but it is a great movie. I love that. Freedom was what. And then number 1, if the people we love are stolen from us, the way to have them live on is never stop loving them. The Crow. Yeah, that's a very good statement too. So thank you for those, Buckeye and Aiken. Anybody else have them? You can put them out there, but we are going to.
My wife's supposed to be putting hers up. Where are they at?
I saw, let's see. You know, I pulled you. Oh, okay. So you know, I pulled you over. Depends how long you were
following me.
Yep, 6-inch ribbon curls. Yep, that's impossible.
Elf is Sharon and I's one of his favorite movies.
Top 20 from Elf.
Yeah, 6-inch ribbon. That's impossible. 6.
Okay, so Rick, go ahead. Let's hear you.
Oh, you know, I wish I could. I was actually thinking it would be cool to have the actors actually say what my things were, but I have no way of doing that. But anyways, I'm going to go in 5-1, obviously. These are ones that that I find either funny or just iconic in my own life. So again, we could put the whole movie Airplane on the list. I mean, every line is funny, but one of the ones that stands out for number 5 from the Airplane 1980. Can you fly this plane and land it? Surely you can't be serious. I am serious, and don't call me Shirley. That's one of my favorites from that movie. Number 4, mine is like was already said, from 2008, The Dark Knight, the great late Heath Ledger. Why so serious?
Yeah.
Great. And as he's putting a knife in the guy's mouth as he's saying that. Here's an older one. I grew up with this movie. Struthers Martin. He's been in several movies with he was in Butch Cassidy, but Cool Hand Luke. You probably know the line. What we've got here is failure to communicate. Just iconic. I love that movie. If you haven't watched Cool Hand Luke, obviously you've missed a great movie. And this one here, if you watch the Taken movies from 2008, the first one, Liam Neeson, sorry. If you let my daughter go now, that will be the end of it. I will not look for you. I will not pursue you. But if you don't, I will look for you. I will find you, and I will kill you.
It
doesn't get much better than that. I mean, you need that on your phone when people call you, you know, from him. All right. And my number 1, now I could have put several movies in there because oh goodness, I can't even think of the golf movie. Why can't I have Caddyshack? All right, goodness, love Bill Murray in that movie. Has so many iconic things, but this one from Christmas Vacation of 1989. Eddie was speaking. He goes, "You surprised?" Clark says, "Surprise, Eddie? I woke up tomorrow with my head sewn to the carpet. I wouldn't be more surprised than I am right now."
Priceless.
All the time, and especially from that. And there's so many just in Back to the Future, Daddy-O. I know my daughter loves that one. Just so many. So those are my 5. Like I said, I could have put 100. It was hard to pick even 5.
Yep.
And we need a bigger boat.
Yeah, See, I'm.
I mean, I go around saying we're going to need a bigger house. We're going to need a bigger building. I just use that in so many different ways. Good morning, Vietnam.
M's dad. Yep. Good morning, Vietnam. I mean, that's obviously that's.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
Make him an offer he can't refuse. You can't handle the truth. That is a very.
Those are
I'm surprised that wasn't out there more often.
Yeah.
Are you stupid or something from Forrest Gump? And of course, I'll be back. Yes. Terminator. Come on. Those are priceless. Parna, you're right. Buckle your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy ride. One of the ones that I didn't put on here that I really like, and it's so great, but it was from Top Gun.
Top Gun.
I feel the need for speed. That was just awesome.
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, the whole movie. Oh my goodness, them two, John Candy. And again, you taught me
everything you know about exterior illumination.
That's Christmas Vacation as well. Almost at the same time as what. You're gonna need a bigger boat.
And then her number 1 is "You're Killing Me, Smalls."
Yeah, that's a good movie.
These are great. Now mine. Okay.
You have a better system than I do.
Well, it's like I said, all you gotta do is send it to me, and I'll put it all together for you. Yeah. It's my top 5s are my family, and everybody that knows me are gonna know. Now, there's one on here that is not. There's one that is not on here that is going to surprise my family big time, but I'll get into that here in a minute. But stop my number 5. Many people have mentioned it. I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse.
Godfather. I mean,
Vito Corleone.
You got to say it. You got to say it in his voice, though, Jim.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse. I need my
an offer he can't refuse.
Great one. When we did top 5 movies of all time, this was a number 1.
Yes.
I love this movie. I can watch it again and again and again. And until Robert De Niro opened his mouth, my number 2 was Godfather Part 2, but now I don't really like watching him anymore. So that was my number 5. My number 4, you already had this one. I didn't go through the whole thing, but it's Stryker goes, "Shirley, you can't be serious." And Dr. Rumack, "I am serious, and don't call me Shirley." That's it from Airplane.
Oh, sorry. We had one of the same.
Oh yeah, we did. When you said it,
and it's funny because there's so many good ones in that, and then we picked that one because he said, hospital. What is it? It's a big building where they keep sick people.
I was actually thinking about putting that one on here over this one because I figured a lot of people would have this one on there. But
I speak jive. There's so many.
When you had Leave It to Beaver's mom.
I speak jive. Yes. I speak jive.
Number 3. Folks, if you ever watch History of the World Part 1, here is Mel Brooks as Moses coming down. "The Lord Jehovah has given unto these 15." He drops one. 10 commandments for all to obey. That is, of course, the one here on the bottom, the Spanish Inquisition. I can sing that whole song, unfortunately. But, folks, I love History of Part 1, 1981. Mel Brooks as Moses. Again, "Lord Jehovah has given unto these 15. Drops one. 10 commandments for all to obey." I would like to know what the other 5 were. That's what I would like.
It was Mel Brooks all his movies. Yep. Oh my goodness. Young Frankenstein's one of my favorite, black and whites, how they did that. Oh, it's just so good. Your hump, wasn't it on the other side just a minute ago?
Now this is very simple, very elegant, excuse me.
Elegant.
And I love baseball.
Oh, there's
my favorite sports movie of all time. Everybody knows it. If you build it, he will come. And folks, if you don't, well, actually, it's if you build it.
There you go. You got to say it. Like I thought you were going to say, "There's crying." There's no crying in baseball.
Well, that is one of them that is an iconic one that needs to be out there. But Field of Dreams, 1989, Shoeless Joe Jackson, played by the late great Ray Liotta.
Yeah,
but folks, the funny thing is, if you haven't seen the movie, if you build it, he will come. And I know I'm going to give it away because I got to tell you, you think it's Shoeless Joe, and he will come and he will come out, but it's not. It's actually his father. If you build it, he will come, and it's so you get goosebumps when you think about it. But that
three iconic celebrities have played in that movie.
Yep.
3.
Okay, folks. My number one, and again, my family.
It's got to be. I know what it is.
I'm going to tell you, I'm a huge Will Ferrell fan.
Yeah,
let's just get off that.
Probably Anchorman.
Nope.
Oh,
it is not that one.
Elf?
Everybody is going to say, I know my family's one. I'm kind of a big deal. Nope, that's not it. It should have been on my top 5, but I didn't want to have too many Will Ferrell. But this is my favorite one of all time. It's from Talladega Nights, The Battle of Ricky Bobby.
Yeah.
He was being interviewed, and this is what he said. I'm the best there is, plain and simple. I mean, I wake up in the morning. I piss excellence. I mean, come on. That is, I wanted to have, we need to make a t-shirt. But it was Will Ferrell said that.
Oh.
And again, you can go out there and you can take as many of those to shake and bake. Oh Lord, baby Jesus, praying to, all the different things from any Will Ferrell movie.
Somebody
but that
just
is
needs
one
a
that
hug.
Because how better to describe yourself than knowing that you're the best there ever was. Every morning you wake up, you piss excellence. I mean, it's just, and if you're up, there's another one right here, Em's dad.
Yeah, if you're not first, you're last.
You're last. Yep. So let's
One
see.
of the funniest scenes of that movie is when he gets out of the car and he's in his underwear and he's running down the, oh my heavens.
Oprah Winfrey.
Oh my goodness.
Clerks, I'm not even supposed to be here today was an honorable mention. Yep, that's a good one. Em's dad agreed with it. Clerks, you can put a lot of it in here as well. There's The Streets Are Crawling with Soldiers. Yep,
there's so many iconic. I mean, there's so many honorable mentions. I mean, we could do a top 100, and maybe you need to
want me to say Elf.
Don't say Elf. I love Elf.
I know Elf. I do too. We're streaking. Will Ferrell.
Yes,
Old School.
It
have a big blue.
Yeah.
So, if you're not first, you're last. Folks, those are our top 5. We hope you enjoy these top 5s because we have a lot of fun doing them. Next week, think on it because this one's another tough one. Dale will be here. Rich, you can send us yours. We'll read them.
Okay.
And we might on a couple times. We just might have you come on like towards the last end, and then you can do your own. I think we should do that. Make it like a weekly thing. Have you do your own. But next week's top 5, folks. Top 5 movie soundtracks. Now we're going to be specific here. Okay. Movie soundtracks. Yes, top 5 all time. Great top 5 movie soundtracks. Okay, it can be from a musical as long as the musical was made into a movie. So it has to be a movie soundtrack.
It's like Grease or Hairspray.
Yes, correct. Right. Those Hairspray, because it became a movie,
right,
can be used. If somebody wants to put Wicked on there and all that, they can. But it's the top 5 movie soundtracks of all time. And again, Dale's going to be here Wednesday to give his, and he's going to make fun of mine. I know he is, but that's okay. That's what Dale does, makes fun of me, but that's cool. Folks,
you've had a break for the last 2 shows, so I haven't made fun of you. So
he's probably going to wonder why I haven't mentioned his name.
Yeah. And by the way, I do want to mention Dale because he's one. Check me if I'm wrong. Puts those commercials together of ours, and it gets them all organized and stuff like that. We do have Ryan Weaver singing in the background of the. And if you have never met Ryan, great guy. He's actually in the last part of that video. See a couple pictures above our counter on the right of him. That was on TV that I actually just took the picture from my TV and I blew it up and hung it up. But that was Ryan as well.
He's been on our show a couple times.
Right.
This network. We've had him on many times, but this network he's been on a couple times.
Right.
So this Wednesday, Dale is coming back, folks. We want to.
Yes. Today's Monday, right? Wow.
Dale is coming back. He was had some family. He had to.
And can I just mention Corporal Chatto? I mean, can we?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, just people for PTSD. It's a real thing. A lot of people come back and have this situation where they can't deal with things and of that nature. And Warrior Shield Foundation is running this year, and recipient of our gala and all that kind of stuff is Corporal Chatto, and he is the PTSD. Donations can be made at warriorshield.org, or you can get in touch with Jim and Dale, and they can lead you how do we get to us, or you can contact me through grickyapparel@gmail.com, and I can lead you that way. Any amount helps. It goes directly to Corporal Chatto for this organization that we will be sponsoring this year. So any help we appreciate. Go ahead.
Well, we played and I wished I would have had Dale send it to me. So that's my bad. But I'll have him send it, so I always have it in case he can't make it again. But we have a video about him,
right?
And we have videos, pictures from the time he was younger all the way through, and you can see in the pictures, you can see in the eyes, you can see how he was being affected, and how the military at that time let him down. I mean, just completely let him down. And we always think of our soldiers as tough men, rub some dirt on it and get back in there and fight.
And they are, and they are
extremly tough. But you know what? There's some times that they go through where they have this PTSD. They've watched their fellow soldiers get killed. They've seen people die. This is different, folks. This is something we don't see every day.
You're right, Jim. And the thing is, you mentioned they watched their friends die, and there's so much that goes through their mind. Why them? Why not me? What they'll be right next to each other. They'll be riding in the same Hummer, and they're killed and they're not. Jessica Lynch was one of the ones that we had a couple years ago that came to our organization, and all her people in her Humvee were killed except for hers.
Yep.
And she was taken captive. But this is a true thing. 22 on an average of our vets commit suicide every day. So we need to help. It's been so long that our vets are just left to themselves. We need to help and get around a company that will help. And Corporal Chatto is one, and we're helping them out through Warrior Shield Foundation this year.
Aiken, exactly. Sometimes the toughest among us need help too, and that actually might be a good shirt.
Yeah.
Sometimes the toughest among us.
It's depression. Depression is a real thing. If anybody out there suffers from depression, it's a real thing. I myself suffer from depression, so it's a real thing. So seek help and get involved.
And recognize it and help the people that need it, whether they're soldiers or whether they're just family members or friends or people that acquaintances. Depression is real, and sometimes in our life we're not taught how to deal with hard times. We're not taught how to deal with how to come through it, how to talk through your feelings, and we really need to, because you look at some people won't show it.
Yeah, and a lot of times, Jim, there's a backstory to that person's life as well. Whether they were abused as a child or whatever, and then it all culminates to this one thing, and then they feel the only way out is suicide.
Yep. And, come February, starting in February, we are going to pick a night, an open hour segment on our network, and we are going to do a once a month between February and I would say August, because we will actually be doing the actual show at the event in September. But through August, once a month, maybe even more, but right now we're starting out with once a month. We are going to have a little It's going to be an hour long, and it's going to be nothing but Warrior Shield and Chad-O Foundation.
And we appreciate that so much.
We will have
you have
Chance.
no idea.
We got to talk to Chance. So what
Right.
we'll probably do is
he's
I'll
our
talk to Dale.
president, right?
Yep. When he gets back, when Dale gets back, Dale and I will get on a call with you and Chance, and we'll talk about what we want to do, because we want members of the Chad-O Foundation to come on.
And you had Steve Cleverly on, which he, is our Sergeant of Arms in Warrior Shield, but he is completely attached to this organization as well. So he knows a lot about it. And I know you had him on, he talked about it.
Yep.
But definitely we'll get him back.
We're gonna have everybody on. We're gonna bring Brian on. We're gonna bring Natasha on. We're gonna bring Holcomb on.
Bo Bryce, maybe.
Bryce
See if we can get him on.
And we're just going to try to bring as many people on to talk about this. And then that's all it's going to be. It's not going to be about politics. It's not going to be about this. It's that night. It's going to be at night, because we feel we can get more people being able to come on. But it's just going to be to donate, $5, to donate $5, donate $1. I mean, whatever you can do, whatever you can afford, donate it to warriorshield.org, because there's two things we want to do. One, we want to bring awareness to this, to Warrior Shield, and what the great things that they do at Warrior Shield. And then also the foundations that they help. Bring people aware to the foundations that they help. And that's all we want to do. We just want to, if you've got some money, go to warriorshield.org, donate. There's a donate button. Just click on it, and we will continue to talk about this through because we want to make this go.
Yeah, bring up that comment there, Jim. Do you see that? The one before that. That one.
Bringing more awareness to this is how we all fix it. You're right. And we got to just keep doing it and doing it one at a time. And you can go to www.corporalchado.org. You can donate to that as well.
Correct.
And you can also donate to the Warrior Shield, because everything that goes to the Warrior Shield right now.
Yeah. And let me just say the difference. Going through Warrior Shield helps fund our gala, helps fund the whole evening, helps pay for the event that we hold to have auctions and all that. What we want to be able to do, all the auction items, everything that we get donated, and we are taking donations. If you have anything that you need, that you would like to donate for us to put on auction, please, you can reach me or go through Dale and Jim to get in touch with me, or through Warrior Shield. It takes a lot of money to put on that event. And by donating to Warrior Shield, that money is helping get that event going, to be able to produce money to give to Corporal Chad-O.
If anybody out there listening has somebody who owns a business, or someone who has anything that you feel, man, this would be a pretty cool donation, please contact us. Please contact Warrior Shield. And then also, because like I said, between now until from February until August, and then on September, we are going to have these events just one time a month, and then maybe go 2 times a month, depending on as we get closer. But folks, not to mention that, but the gala, the tickets are out there. I believe you can start purchasing tickets now.
Yeah, I think so. We just came up with the full pricing of everything. So
we want to fill this place up. So all you out there listening, it is a great time. You get to see great performances. There are some great giveaways. We will have some of those that Chance can share, because I know he likes to do some surprises. So some of the giveaways that he will have them on the show. We'll talk about it. You can bid on this, you can bid on that. And
And
so
I will say, Jim, real quickly, sorry, I'm interrupting you. I know, I apologize. Okay. You will be able to purchase, bid on auction items prior to the event. So if you can't go to the event, you can bid on these auctions and win them. And then all you'd have to do is pay for shipping to get it to you. Example, like Lock and Load and Grit Gear is both supplying a plethora of products to give to for an auction. So you could win a lot of coffee or apparel or whatever. So those are just some of the ideas, but there are some great things. And what else? I mean, you can rub shoulders with Ryan Weaver, Bo Bice, Tasha, Tig, Boone this year.
For 13 hours, the Secret Soldiers of Benghazi. That's who we're talking about.
Yes.
The people have been there. The people who were there.
The one that
we're going to try to get Sarah Adams back. We're going to try to get her to come back. I would love to see Jessica Lynch. I'd love to meet her in person.
She was there in 22, I believe. 2022.
Folks, it's just a great time. You just come in and, and plus, not to mention the fact that you can be with us. You can actually come by and see us live.
Yeah, you get to meet us.
But anyway, folks, we'll talk about more of that as we go. Dale will be back Wednesday, and yes, it's Wednesday for you, all of you out there who informed me that I messed that up, and I did. I apologize.
Way to go, Jim. Way to go. Come on.
This Wednesday, Dale will be back, and we are going to be doing the top 5 soundtracks, movie soundtracks, top 5, anytime, any genre, any date. It can be from way back
present, could be 2025.
If some crazy individual out there wants to put The Sound of Music as one of their top soundtracks, they can. I may not show it, but you can put that on there. But you can come up to a movie that was just released last week.
And I will say that's a tough one as well, Jim.
Yep.
There's some good movie soundtracks.
Oh, there's some fantastic movies, and
then there's some real bad ones though too.
Yeah, I've got a couple that I think. And matter of fact, there's some of them that the soundtracks were so good, but the movie was terrible.
Right.
So,
I don't like Titanic, but the soundtrack was.
Yep. There you go. You get some of that out there. To the point real quick, they're looking forward to September and any way they can help at Indian River Connection. So maybe put him in touch with you and Chance and maybe kind of get some things going that way.
We'd be happy to go on his show as well if he would like, if he wants us to.
So again, Dale will be back Wednesday, folks. And I know he's probably wondering why I haven't mentioned his name the whole time, but I hope they're being safe. They had a memorial for his father this past week. So
we love you, Dale.
Yeah, yes. We love you, and we can't wait to have you back. So he will be back on Wednesday, folks. He will bring his charm and his wit back to the show. See, I'm being nice. I'm really, but we did miss you, Dale. Can't wait to have you back.
He definitely fills the seat better than I do, but thank you for having me on these last couple of times. I appreciate it.
There, Dale, I mentioned you. Yeah. So I apologize. I think I did say at the beginning, but anyway, Dale, can't wait to have you back. We miss you. I'll talk to you probably tomorrow, but because he's got less time to put his top 5 together, but we'll get it together and we'll get it going. So folks, I want to thank everybody out there for watching.
Thank you.
It's been a great week.
Yes, Jim. Thank you for having me on. Appreciate it. All your followers. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Well, I'm going to get to you here in a second.
You are?
You're getting ahead of myself.
I'm sorry.
God.
That's what I always do.
I just want to say it's a great week. Today is week 1 of the new America
administration,
President Trump administration. He is already doing a lot of the things he said he's going to do. Let's just give him all the support we can. Let's make sure these freaking senators get off their freaking butts and get these people in here, especially the ones for security, right? Our Homeland Security, we kind of need them. I think that's pretty important. The FBI, all these wonderful things. But let's support him. And Rich, as always, I want to thank you, and I want to thank Sharon for not allowing, but being okay with you coming on. I know sometimes she probably doesn't like how we, affect your mind.
I think she's okay.
But
she's a big girl. She can handle you and Dale.
Oh yes, she can. There's no question. You two are a class act, and we could not.
Thank you.
Our fans love you. They truly do. You can tell when they see it. But thank you very much. We'll have you on. Everybody will get to see you. But again, Dale will be back. Thanks everybody. Have a great week, and we'll see you soon.